Your check engine light came on. What should you do? In this video, I'm going to talk about what you should do if you're going to DIY your repairs or if you are going to take your car into a repair shop. Here's how you handle it. All right, first, we're gonna talk DIY. I used to be a DIY mechanic or whatever you want to call it. I did my own work on my cars. Before I owned repair shops, any of that, I used to wrench in my driveway. Up until 2023, that is how I did a lot of things on my cars. But the reason that I got into owning shops is because I learned very quickly when wrenching on my own cars that I'm not very good at it and I really shouldn't do it myself. And so with Driven Auto Care, I am not a professional technician working on your cars. I hire really good people to do that instead. Going back to my DIY days, I want to tell you a story about my 2002 Acura TL. And I bought this car and it had an interesting vibration in it. And basically what would happen is I would put my foot on the gas at about 50 miles an hour or so. And when you had just medium throttle at about 50 miles an hour, the whole car would just shake like crazy, like quite hard. It would just, the whole car would shake. And so I Googled it because this is a problem. I didn't want to deal with it, obviously. And this is what I tried to figure out. I tried to do my own self-diagnosis. And now this isn't a check engine light that like we talked about at the beginning of the video, but it's basically the exact same concept. Is you have a check engine light and you scan your car for a specific code and you get a code out of the car and you Google it and you figure out what it's going to be to fix it. That's essentially what I did. 2002 Acura TL, vibration at 50 miles an hour on throttle. And so I figured out and went on the forums and went on the internet and tried to figure out what it was going to be to fix my car. And I looked around and I basically found out that there was 3 possible causes for this. It was either an axle, it was unbalanced wheels and tires, or it was my transmission going out. There were a few other things it could have been, basically a misfire and a couple different things that could have been causing the misfire, but in general, misfire, transmission, axle, unbalanced wheels and tires. So what did I do? I said, I'm going in order of price. And so I first went and I got my wheels balanced. No change, none at all. Then I decided I was going to buy axles. And so I replaced the axles on both the front axles of my car. I got both of them replaced and it still happened. So what did I think? I thought I bought bad axles. And so I swapped out and got a different brand of axles and put those in. Same thing. Then I was back on the forums late at night. It's keeping me up at night. It must be that the place that balanced my wheels didn't do it right. So I'm gonna go take it to a different shop and get my tires rebalanced. No change, again. And that's what people were blaming on the forums. So they got their tires balanced over and over and over again. Eventually they finally got it to work and it was all perfect again. That didn't work for me. The axles weren't working for me. So what's next? It's the misfire, it must be. Let's replace the spark plugs. Nothing. At this point, I'm getting pretty frustrated, but what I came to learn is that the 2002 Acura TL has a very notoriously bad transmission. And because of that, it turned out that though this car had a replacement transmission, which was replaced under warranty by Acura in the time that this car was new, it was bad. And because that transmission was bad, it was causing this horrific shaking known as a torque converter shudder from my car at that speed under that throttle load. And as a result, I ended up deciding to get rid of the car. I didn't want to spend all that money to replace the transmission. But in the meantime, I spent all that time and money on axles, reading forums, on spark plugs, on balancing my tires multiple times. That was a waste. That was a complete waste of time and money had I just taken my car to a shop or done the proper diagnostic process myself in order to figure out the problem. Because that wasn't the way to go about it. In the industry, we call that a parts cannon. We call it that you come up with a list of things that could be causing the problem and you start replacing parts. And by doing so, you spend a lot of money that you probably don't need to spend. So before we go into the opposite approach, is if you take your car to a shop, let's talk about the right way to do DIY. The right way to do DIY in that situation, or in your situation, if you have a check engine light, is yes, do your research. But instead of then going and replacing parts, you need to do additional testing. Your research on the computer is only as good as what your specific car is going to tell you based on the information that you learned from the internet. And so you need to go back to your car and figure out how to get as much information out of it as possible in order to verify which of the different parts that the internet has told you about is actually the problem. Don't just start shotgunning parts at your car unless it is truly a inexpensive or very returnable part, and something that is easy. Those are the two things that you need in order to justify doing the parts canon. It has to be returnable and it has to be easy. Then you can go ahead and do it because it may be your best testing approach in order to determine if that part is bad. On the contrary, you can go get, in this day and age, a very inexpensive Bluetooth scan tool dongle that connects to your phone and gives you all the information that you could possibly need and that many shops are equipped with in order to properly diagnose your car. And there's a million YouTube videos out there that can show you how to read live data and use bidirectional controls with your car, plus visual inspections and other tips and tricks on how to identify whether specific parts are bad. Wheel bearings, axles, things like that, where you can't exactly use a scan tool to figure out what's wrong, and those things wouldn't cause a check engine light, but figure out exactly what's going wrong in the different modules in your car with the different pieces of information that the car is able to send out to a scan tool. That is how you can ultimately conclude on what is going on with your car, and then you can pinpoint the exact part you need to replace, do it once, and get on with your life knowing that your car is properly fixed. Now, on the do-it-for-me side, that's what we call it in the industry, if you're going to take your car to somebody else in order for them to fix it, here is my advice. First things first, do not, whatever you do not go to a parts store and let them sell you parts, because that is a quick way to spend money that doesn't get you anywhere. What a parts store is going to do for free is they are going to take a scan tool out to your car and they are going to plug it in and scan your car. And in doing so, they're going to show you the codes that your car is presenting that's causing that check engine light to come on. You may have a code for a misfire, for example. A misfire could be caused by a whole lot of different things. It could be caused by spark plugs, ignition coils, injectors, bad airflow, bad compression in your engine. It could be caused by many, many, many things. And so the parts store is going to give you that entire list. And then they're going to tell you, well, you could just start buying stuff and take it to a shop and ask them to install it. Well, in a lot of cases, a good shop is going to have a problem with that for a couple of reasons. Number one, they haven't diagnosed your car, and they want to diagnose your car so that they can offer a guarantee that the thing that they are going to do, the repair that they're going to do for you, is actually going to fix the problem. And number two is they don't trust your parts. You don't know if you got the right parts for your car. You don't know if you got the right parts for your mileage, for your specific trim level, for your specific engine. And while the parts store gets it right most of the time, because it's the same information that we will probably use to identify what parts you want on your car, the warranty, the brand, the price, all of these things are going to be completely different whether that parts store is selling to a retail consumer or to a wholesale business. You, as the retail consumer, want the wholesale business buying your parts for you because of the sheer amount of benefits that we get to help you make sure that your car is fixed because of us buying that part. So what do I recommend instead? Go to a shop that offers a diagnostic guarantee up front. Now, Driven Auto Care is unique in a lot of ways relative to other shops in that we are very transparent about the way we do our pricing for our diagnostic testing. We offer a free preliminary diagnostic assessment. This is designed to take about 15 minutes because there are many problems that cause a check engine light to come on that can be figured out in just that short of a time. And because of that, we would like to get you into our shop. Yes, it is a sales tactic. Yes, I am trying to get broken cars into my shop so that I can sell you repairs on them. That just is the nature of it. But at the end of the day, it's good for both of us because you could, if you wanted to, just take our free diagnostic, leave, and go to a shop that will do the repair for cheaper. Because at the end of the day, I have to be priced a little bit higher on the back end in order to make up for giving up that repair, giving up that diagnosis up front. And because of that, you can go in 99% of cases and get a repair done cheaper somewhere else. However, there's a lot of other benefits that we provide in that escalated price. We offer loaner cars for free. We offer rideshare for free. We offer the longest warranty of any independent shop that I know of in the San Francisco Bay Area. And so because of those things, I generally think it's worth keeping your car in the same shop that did the diagnosis as the shop that fixes the car. So because of all those things, I really think it's wise for our customers to keep their cars in the same shop that did the diagnosis for the ultimate repair. Because we also offer this diagnostic guarantee. And what that really means is if we perform a repair that we recommended for fixing a problem with your car, and it does not at least make your problem better, then you don't pay for it. It's applied as a credit towards the actual repair, or if you really don't want to see us ever again, you can get a refund. I hope you don't. I hope you do come back to us and give us another shot. We're not wrong very often, but cars aren't always easy, and so we do sometimes get it wrong, and we don't want you to have to pay for that. That is on us. And meanwhile, other shops are just charging you to fire a parts cannon at your car. They're going to do the same thing that DIY person did at the beginning. They're going to look up a list of potential things that could potentially cause the problem that you have, and they're going to start telling you to pay for repairs. And when that thing doesn't fix it, they're going to either, and I've seen this many times, it's either they're going to do what Driven Auto Care does, and they're going to say, okay, you don't have to pay for that, we'll reverse it, you're good. Or they're going to say, you have to pay for that, but it didn't do anything, you got to fix something else. And here's the other thing you got to fix. Or the worst of it is they're going to completely lie to you. And they're going to say, that didn't fix it, but it did make it better. Or, you needed that one first no matter what, and then you have to go do this other thing afterwards. Now, sometimes that can be true, but on the other hand, a lot of times it's covering up for incompetence. And you have to be very careful to determine which of those is actually happening. That brings me to my next point. You have to ask for diagnostic notes. You may not understand them. That's totally fine. There's a reason you're bringing your car to a professional to do this, and that professional is going to write up notes similar to a doctor or a dentist or whoever else that doesn't necessarily say something that you can understand. But what it does is it substantiates the justification for recommending a specific repair. And because of that, you could take that to another professional and get a second opinion. That is super valuable. When you can see that a shop has done all of their due diligence and is accurately recommending a diagnosis based on real observable data and testing, you can then use that to say, yes, I have confidence in this shop to perform a repair and do right by me and do right by my car to get me back on the road safely and reliably. And at the end of the day, if the shop that you go to does these things, if they provide a diagnostic guarantee, if they take care of charging fairly for diagnosis, they're not overcharging an hour for something that takes them 5 minutes to figure out, but they're also not undercharging or rolling it into the repair or something like that, where it's a bit of deceptive pricing. I try to be very transparent with our pricing, even if some people may say it sounds exactly the same as the rest of them. I'm really trying to differentiate. These things that, if done right, they have diagnostic notes, they have fair diagnostic pricing. Those things and a diagnostic guarantee on top of it, plus all the other benefits that you could get from a shop, you should reward them with the work. Because your car, at the end of the day, will run better and reward you for repairing it. It will last longer. It will be easier to drive. It will be more satisfying to drive. And that cost of that repair will save you money from replacing more major components down the road nearly 100% of the time. So while some check engine lights may be tolerable for long periods of time, I do recommend you get them fixed, and you definitely need to figure out what is causing that check engine light as soon as possible. And hopefully, if you're local to one of my shops, you will come to Driven Auto Care. And that's all I got for today. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I'll be looking so I can answer them for you. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. And if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. We're releasing one of these videos every single week. With all that said, we'll see you next week. Stay driven.